Did you know that the food you eat every day might be quietly hurting you? Back in the day, our grandparents ate fresh homemade dishes made with natural, wholesome ingredients straight from the earth or sea. Now we're piling our plates with packaged, overly processed snacks and meals loaded with chemicals, way too much sugar, and unhealthy fats that our bodies weren't built to handle. More and more people in our neighborhoods are dealing with weight gain, diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart problems. This isn't just bad luck. It's tied straight to what we're eating every single day, and I'm going to break it all down in this video for the love of health and fitness, where we take fitness out of the gym and into real life situations, real people, real talk. I've spent years working with folks right here in our Caribbean community, helping them take charge of their health again. I've seen with my own eyes how even the smallest changes can completely turn someone's life around. More energy, better sleep, feeling stronger, you name it. Today we've got to talk about processed foods, how they're sneaking into our Caribbean diets more and more, and what we need to do to push back before it's too late to save our health. The problem with processed foods. Growing up in the Caribbean, we were raised on fresh, home-cooked meals that tasted like love. Our moms, grandmas, and aunties would wake up early to cook from scratch. Think rice and peas simmering with creamy coconut milk fresh from the nut, fish pulled straight from the ocean that morning, and hearty stuff like yam, dasheen, and sweet potato all spiced up with herbs picked right from the backyard. Meals weren't just food. They were a tradition, a way of life that kept us strong and connected to the land. But over the years, things started shifting, and not for the better. Supermarkets popped up on every corner, fast food joints spread like wildfire, and suddenly cooking at home started feeling like too much trouble. We began reaching for canned soups, boxed macaroni, and frozen dinners instead of chopping vegetables or seasoning meat ourselves. Freshly squeezed juice got traded for sugary soda, garden-grown herbs got replaced by bottled seasonings stuffed with artificial junk, and real hearty homemade food turned into quick microwave meals that barely resemble what we used to eat. At first, this switch didn't seem like a huge issue. Processed foods are easy. Pop them in the microwave or rip open a bag and you're done. They're fast, which is great when you're busy, and they're usually cheaper than buying fresh fruits, veggies, or fish from the market. But here's the tricky part most people don't realize. These foods are built to keep you coming back for more. Big food companies spend millions of dollars figuring out how to make their products light up the happy parts of your brain. They pack in extra sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats that trick your taste buds and make you crave another bite, then another bag, then another box. After a while, natural foods, like a ripe mango or a plate of steamed callaloo, start tasting bland compared to the over-the-top flavors of processed stuff. That's why so many people find it tough to switch back to healthy eating. It's not just about willpower. It's like trying to break free from a habit that's been wired into you. The effects of this food swap are hitting us hard, and they're impossible to miss. Right now, being overweight is one of the biggest health threats we're facing across the Caribbean. Places like the Bahamas and Trinidad and Tobago are seeing some of the highest numbers, with over 30% of people classified as obese, meaning their weight is putting their health at serious risk. And it's not just adults anymore. Kids are getting heavier too, munching on chips, candy, and fast food instead of the fruits and home-cooked meals we grew up on. This sets them up for a lifetime of struggles with their health before they even get the chance to grow up and make their own choices. When you carry extra weight, it drags a whole list of other problems along with it. Diabetes is now one of the top reasons people are dying in the Caribbean, with 1 in 5 adults affected in some countries. This isn't just a boring statistic on a page. It's your auntie who can't walk anymore because diabetes took her leg. It's your uncle stuck taking pills every day for the rest of his life. It's your best friend who collapsed out of nowhere because their blood sugar spiked too high. These are real people. Our family, our friends, the ones we love, and it's happening all around us. Heart disease is another giant problem crashing into our communities, and guess what's fueling it? The insane amounts of salt, unhealthy fats, and fake ingredients crammed into processed foods. We've gotten so used to high blood pressure here in the Caribbean that we shrug it off like it's just part of getting older. But that's a lie we've been sold. Your body isn't supposed to be under that kind of pressure all the time. When you keep eating foods that are way too salty, dripping with greasy fats, and pumped full of chemical preservatives, your blood vessels start to stiffen up. Your heart has to pump harder just to keep up, and before you know it, you're staring down high blood pressure, strokes, or even heart attacks that could have been avoided. Natural versus processed foods. So what's the real difference between natural foods and processed ones? It's pretty straightforward when you break it down. Natural foods, or whole foods, are the things that come straight from nature, untouched by factories and labs. We're talking fresh vegetables like pumpkin and okra, fruits like guava and papaya, meats and fish caught or raised locally, grains like rice or cornmeal, plus nuts and seeds. These foods haven't been messed with, tweaked, or stuffed with artificial junk. They're what our grandparents and great-grandparents ate every day, the stuff our bodies know how to use to stay healthy and strong. Processed foods, though, are a whole different story. They're anything that's been changed a lot from its original form, usually by adding chemicals, preservatives, and fake flavors to make it last longer on the shelf or taste better in a way nature never intended. Now, not every processed food is a villain. A can of tuna or a loaf of bread isn't the end of the world, but the ultra-processed stuff, the kind with ingredient lists full of words you can't pronounce, that's where the real danger hides. Let's look at something simple, like bread, to see the difference. Traditional Caribbean bread, like the kind your grandma might have baked, was made with just flour, water, yeast, and a pinch of salt. It's processed a little to turn it into bread, but it's still close to what nature gave us. Now walk into any supermarket and grab a loaf of that soft, sliced bread that stays fresh for weeks. Check the label. It's loaded with preservatives to stop mold, fake sugars to make it sweet, and weird additives like emulsifiers to keep it soft. Those extras have nothing to do with feeding you well. They're about making the bread last longer and taste good in a fake factory-made way. Same goes for canned meats versus fresh fish straight from the boat, boxed juices versus squeezing an orange yourself, or instant noodles versus a pot of homemade soup with veggies and herbs. The quality gap is massive, and the way it hits your health is even bigger. How to switch to natural foods. Switching back to natural, whole foods doesn't mean you have to ditch convenience altogether or spend hours in the kitchen every day. It's about making smarter choices that fit your life. If you're hitting up fast food joints every day, try cutting back to just once a week. Maybe save it for a treat instead of a habit. If you're chugging soda all the time, swap it out for coconut water fresh from the husk or homemade juice with no added sugar. Instead of grabbing canned peas or corn, pick up fresh ones from the market or even frozen veggies if you're short on time. These little tweaks might not sound like much, but they stack up over weeks and months, giving your body a fighting chance to feel better and work the way it's supposed to. The hard truth is that the health mess we're in here in the Caribbean isn't going to magically fix itself. We've got to step up and take responsibility for what we eat and how we treat our bodies every day. We owe it to ourselves to feel good, to our families who rely on us, and to our kids who deserve a better example for their future. If you're in Nevis, come stop by Health is Wealth Fitness Center. We're here to support you every step of the way on your journey to better health. What will you try to change in your diet? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.